Hey there, sickos, and welcome to the 15-day Han Solo challenge. That's right. Despite the idea that I probably wasn't going to do this after the disaster of the last challenge, I figured, what the hell? If I just keep it simple and don't put as much into it as I usually do on videos, because with the state of YouTube these days, the adpocalypse, the running amok with the DMCA, I just figured it wasn't worth it to take that risk. I mean, I'm not exactly sure how much of a crap George Lucas or John Williams would have used for, or I'm not exact. Let me rephrase that. I'm not exactly how much of a crap George Lucas or John Williams would have given about the use of their intellectual property, as far as, as long as it falls under fair use. Like movie clips or music excerpts. Because the music is just, is a significant part of the whole mythos. But so that's why I say it like this. But now that Lucasfilm is owned by Disney, and Disney is quite notorious for just really raping people up the arse over the whole, over copyright, even if it did fall under fair use. So I decided, fuck it. I'm not a big enough YouTuber to take that risk. And so I'm not going to. And besides, part of the problem with it is that it took too long for a challenge like this, with the 30-day challenge, and ultimately no videos really got put out. None that I can recall off the top of my head. So I'm just keeping it a little simple, not to mention, because I've had technological problems, considering copyright, I was in the middle of a move back to Denver, things like that. So anyway, with that out of the way, I can explain all this later in maybe a Q&A video later. I don't know. But getting down to it, I think my favorite Han Solo quote, and I've talked about this in the last challenge on Twitter, because I've tweeted most of my challenge responses last time. I think my favorite one would have to be where he's taking Obi-Wan and Luke to Alderaan, just before, like in episode 4, New Hope. I think at this point it's safe to say everyone watching this has seen that movie. So anyway, Luke's in there training with the lightsaber, as we all know, and so of course Han pokes fun at him, saying that it's, that a blaster outdoes it every time, and then of course the whole exchange led to the following quote, which I voted my favorite Han Solo quote for reasons that I will go into afterward. And so he says to Luke, "Kid, I've flown from one end of this galaxy to the other, and I've seen some pretty strange stuff. But I haven't seen anything to make me believe that there's this one all-powerful force controlling everything. At least no mystical force controls my destiny. It's all a bunch of simple tricks and nonsense." Now, the thing about this quote is, I have said before, anybody who's known me or watched my channel knows I'm kind of a skeptic. So, so I identified about that with Han. I identified with Han about that. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the things that defines this character, and one of the things I like about this character is that he doesn't believe in anything without having a good reason to it. That could be verified as a fact. And we need a little more of that nowadays, considering. But I won't go into that here. But anyway, it's one of the defining traits of his character. It tells us who Han Solo is as a person. Now, there are some honorable mentions. Because like I said, it took some, because it took some serious bloodletting to try and come up with a favorite quote. Because, quite frankly, there's a lot of them. But I think the honorable mentions are from the same movie. Let him have it. It's not wise to upset a Wookiee. And of course the follow-up where he's like, well, that's because a Wookiee. And the follow-up, well, that's because a droid doesn't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that. Let's see. This one kind of, this one doesn't, doesn't. This and of course this other honorable mention, where he's just like, where he's where he shows off his mercenary side, and he's like, where he tells the princess, look, I ain't in this for your revolution, and I'm not in it for you, princess. I expect to be well paid. I'm in it for the money. And of course, a nice, and of course, one of the best quotes that he ever made, which is a runner-up as well as an honorable mention, is only 2 words, actually. And that was his response to Princess Leia when she finally tells him that she loves him. And, of course, the response was, I know. But, anyway, I guess that's it. Because, like I said, I want to keep these short, sweet, to the point, So, just so I can bang these out in time, So, anyway, I guess that's it for now, sickos. This is Jay the SickSaiyan. Scout your power levels later, or in the spirit of this franchise, may the Force be with you. Banzai!